Welcome to the Unloved Woman podcast.
But even in her presence, something felt missing. I remember sitting at her table, my small little hands gripping the edge, watching her work in silence. There was warmth, yes, but no connection. I didn't have the words to explain it, but I felt it, a deep loneliness. It didn't come from absence of someone or something. It was the absence of being seen, being known. At 4 years old, I felt like I was already drifting, disconnected from the world around me and from my own family. Chapter 2. The confusion of love and loneliness. The one person who did make me feel seen, at least in my young little heart, was my cousin Raymond. When he visited, he'd hug me and I felt connected to him in a way that I didn't feel with anyone else. And to my innocent mind, his attention was love that I longed for. I adored him, believing that his affection was something special, something real. As I grew a little bit older, around 5 or 6, Raymond's attention shifted and I didn't fully understand it at the time. But it became clear that our relationship was changing. During family visits to his farm, where my parents, my brother and I would spend a lot of time together, the games we played began to feel uncomfortable. His behaviour left me confused, but again, I didn't have the words or the courage to express what I was feeling. Despite my confusion, I clung to the idea that Raymond cared for me. I mistook his attention for love, believing that he was someone I could trust. But he wasn't, because he did things that were not what cousins should do to each other. He was naked around me lots and just did inappropriate things. And it did affect me because I fell in love with him. I became attached to this cousin of mine. And he shouldn't have been doing that to a 5 or a 6-year-old little girl. He was a lot older. He was about 8 years older. He got a girlfriend and everything shifted. I was devastated, heartbroken in a way that seemed too heavy for a child to carry. In my little, silly, young mind, it was as if I had lost the only person who made me feel loved. I tried to tell my parents about my confusion and about sort of the things that were happening, but they didn't believe me. They dismissed my words, thinking I was making up stories. And it wasn't the first time they didn't take me seriously. A year before, when I was just a child, I was a child then, but I was a younger child, I told them about something miraculous. One night, I had a visit from an angel. He appeared beside my bed, tall and glowing with golden light. He told me that my life wouldn't be easy, that I had a path filled with challenges ahead. But he also said that God would be with me and that he was my guardian angel and I'll always be by my side. He said to stay strong, especially faced with all difficult times. And I did feel comforted, protected and deeply loved by this angelic presence. But when I shared this experience with my parents, they didn't believe me either. But looking back, I realised that this disbelief was a recurring theme in my relationship with my parents, especially with my mother. She always seemed fragile, often overwhelmed by her own struggles. After my brother was born, she suffered a nervous breakdown and spent months in the hospital from a young age. So I felt like I stepped into the caregiver role, as if I needed to be strong when she couldn't. And I was often left to deal with things on my own, including confusion and a heartache I faced. Now I understand that my childhood was filled with moments of neglect and misunderstanding, moments that shaped who I have become. But through it all, I held on to those words of that angel, reminding myself that even in the dark times, I wasn't alone.